Now, let's talk about, you've talked a lot on Outsiders, amazing show. You don't need the pump up, it's just kicking ass. Number one thing on Foxtel on Sunday, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
About the Great Reset, which essentially is using COVID to reorganise the economy, and we're getting a little version of that here in Australia. We're reading today that there are backbenchers inside the Labor Party saying, don't waste the COVID recovery, as Labor is sharpening its policy focus, according to the Financial Review. Anthony Albanese, while talking about this in part today, said this in Queensland.
I have said very clearly, in accordance with when I received the election review, that we would have an ambitious agenda, but it wouldn't be one that had more than 280 costed policies. That's around about 6 times more than any of the other political parties had at the last election. We will have measures and a narrative that's clearly understood.
No one cares. Now, of course, he's talking about a leak that was about to find budget savings, right? Great, I'm all in, but we know that no one's going to be finding any major budget savings. But we know Build Back Better, the Great Reset, whichever it happens to be, it's marched through lots of areas of our society. And I'm surprised that, again, we're not hearing too much about this yet here in Australia, but I can feel between now and the next election we're going to hear a lot of it.
We are, and I applaud Scott Morrison and the Coalition for being sensible enough to recognise that Build Back Better and these slogans like Black Lives Matter, they sound great, but if you actually delve into what they stand for and what the agenda is, they're very, very sinister. The entire COVID swapping into becoming climate change is the great fantasy of the left, of great fantasy of governments that can't get elected in other ways, but they love the power that COVID has given them, the ability to tell people to shut down small businesses and to transfer the wealth across to their mates and all the rest of it. They love this, and they're determined. They tell us, not us, they tell us that they want to see the same measures used for climate change.
Now, Pauline, the best thing is that you get to, of course, be in the federal parliament. The worst thing is that you have to listen to Greens speeches. Do you hear much of this coming out of the mouths of people who are already in the parliament suggesting that COVID is an opportunity for us to ...
Not on the floor of Parliament as far as COVID is giving them the opportunity to do ... But I feel that there has been this agenda set, and we've heard of the global reset, Paul, and we hear that there's this socialist agenda that's going on worldwide to destroy our democracy and destroy the family unit, and that is actually what is happening. So when we hear this rubbish that's going on, taking away the rights, like now, they're doing away with Mother of the Year. That's actually being canned, so you can't have Mother of the Year. I see this is encroaching on our rights, and slowly they're changing it. Now, you talk about, Rowan, you said congratulations to Scott Morrison, his view and standing up to them. Well, I don't see it. Remember, I put up the notion on the floor of Parliament that all lives matter. When you have those Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. And yet the coalition, everyone, voted against it. So you have the coalition, I feel, are not standing up for the Conservative voters and standing up against the push from the left to destroy our fabric of our society and our democracy. And they're allowing the socialist agenda to actually, be slowly brought in. And I get furious with the coalition. I thought, where are you? Why don't you stand up to them? And I hope Morrison does.
Pauline, I 100% agree with you, and I was so thrilled when you put All Lives Matter up, and that was so brave of you and the right thing to do, and all of Australia was behind you. Absolutely agree with you. What I'm saying is, so far, we haven't heard the language of Build Back Better and this COVID to climate change rubbish, which we have seen from Joe Biden, and we have seen, shock horror, just revoltingly, from Boris Johnson in the UK. So I'm just saying at least the coalition haven't gone down that route yet. But with the likes of some of the people in the Liberal Party, I wouldn't be surprised, Pauline, that if you're right and we start to hear that language.